The first type, number one, brothers misrepresenting themselves at the sit down. The Mufti, he says, when the man presents himself, he presents himself as though he is righteous and upright, and he has sweet promises. And then afterwards, it is clarified and it becomes clear that he is nothing like he said he was. And Umar al-Khattab, he said, Nikah riqqun. He said that marriage is like a type of slavery. He said, so let each of you look and see to whom you enslave your daughter to, or your woman to. Naam. He said, a man said to Hassan, Inna indi ibnah. He said, I have a daughter, and men have proposed to her. So to whom should I marry her to? He says, Zawwijha man yakhafu Allah. He said, marry her to the man that fears Allah. Because if he loves her, he will do what? He will honor her. And if he dislikes her, he will not oppress her. But some of the brothers, Ya Akhwan, they misrepresent themselves at the marriage sit down. And understand, Ya Akhwan, that if a man has anything that has to be known before the marriage, he has to make it known. Any type of health defects, STDs, have to make it known. Anything that will affect the marriage, it has to be made known on both sides, from the man and the woman, before marriage, and it cannot be concealed. As the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, "Min ghashana falaysa minna." Whoever deceives us, then he is not from us. And with this, Ya Akhwan, we, as a footnote, one of the things that the reason this happens so often is because of the backyard marriages. People getting married in the backyard. What do I mean by that? It means that when brothers come to you, brothers come sometimes to brothers where we're from, and they say, will you marry me off? They say, well, why don't you get married at the masjid? There's probably a reason. Nobody will marry them off because they're not suitable for marriage. But brothers always step forward and they marry people in the backyard, and without even asking the masjid, why wouldn't you marry him off? Usually there's a reason, but people have to ask. Now, and many times it just so happened that the brother who is appointed to be the wakil of the sister is best friends with the man who wants to marry her. So is he going to be honest in speaking about, is this brother suitable for marriage? Ali al-Madini, he was asked a question. And I mentioned this for brothers, if you are the wakil of a sister or not. Even if a sister wants to marry a brother and her wakil, her wali, or someone asks you about the brother, speak the truth. Be honest and speak the truth about the brother. And there's some people that are good people, but they're not marriage material. Sometimes people, they have asked me, what do you think about so-and-so? He's a nice brother. I like him. Okay, I want to marry my daughter. No, don't do that. If you want to marry him off, that's another conversation. Is he a nice guy? Yes, but I wouldn't marry him to anybody in the dunya. Ali al-Madini, they asked him about his father, the condition of his father. He said, Is'alu ghayri. He said, go ask someone else. They asked him about the condition of his own father. He said, go ask someone else. They said, Sa'alnaka. They said, we asked you. So he dropped his head. And then he raised his head and said, Hada deen abi da'if. He says, this is the religion. My father's weak. He spoke the truth about his own father, Ya Akhwan. If someone asks you about a brother, speak the truth. And another thing that will help this is if the women help us out. Many times, sisters, what you do is you get to know the brother first, and then you come and bring him to the imam or to the wakil and say, will you check the brother out for me? And wallahi, each time it's already evident that you've already been speaking to him and you already made your mind up. And anything that we say about him, short of him being a serial killer, you're going to marry him anyway. You've already made your mind up. Sheikh Ubaid, he mentions about this. As one of the sisters, she asked Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabir, may Allah Ta'ala preserve him, about this sister. May Allah protect her in this life and the next. She had went online and met a brother online. And then what she did is that she told the brother, well, go to my family and propose, ask for my hand in marriage. But she had already met him online. So after she did it, she wanted to know, was this correct? So she asked Sheikh Ubaid. And what the Sheikh said, the gist of what he said, he said, I say to you and to every Muslim woman who wants to preserve her honor and her religion, do not present yourselves to men on the internet. He said, فَإِنَّ الرِّجَالِ يَا بِنْتِي لَا يَعْرُفُ مَخَابِئِهِمْ إِلَّا الرِّجَالِ. He said, oh, my daughters, no one knows the secrets of men except for other men. No one knows the secrets of men except for men. So don't present yourselves to men on the internet and then bring them to the wali. Because a lot of times the women, they think, and women have told me this before, I'm smart enough to know if he's a good brother or not. And it's not really about being smart. And unfortunately, sometimes some of the women, they present brothers to other women. They say, so-and-so's a good brother. So-and-so's a good brother. And we ask you, how do you know that? Umar ibn Khattab, a man came to Umar. Yes, a man came to Umar and he gave a testimony. And Umar said to him, I don't know you. And it doesn't harm you the fact that I don't know you. But just bring somebody who knows you. So a man in the crowd, he said, I know him. So Umar said, are you his neighbor so that you see his day and night? The man said, no. He said, have you done some financial transaction with him that proves he's pious? The man said, no. He said, have you traveled with him to show his good manners? The man said, no. He said, you don't know him. Go get somebody that knows him. So we say to the women, how do you know if he's a good brother or not? If you haven't done any of the above, how do you know? Let somebody come who knows them. Now, and we also ask the brothers, inshallah ta'ala, make sure that I'm not sure what the masjid has in policy of audio recording. That's with them, but make sure that nobody is video recording. By Allah Ta'ala's mercy, I can't be found anywhere on YouTube, and I want to keep it that way. I don't do the video thing, alhamdulillah. So make sure that we don't have any videos or pictures going on, inshallah ta'ala. Now, also, yes, we're still in number one. Says, sisters, you have to beware of those brothers who communicate with a woman on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp under the guise of da'wah. Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabir, he said, I like to bring something to the attention which is very dangerous. He said, and many men and women who ascribe themselves to knowledge, they fall into this. He said, we have dealt with this issue before, but many people are stubborn and they refuse to take the advice. And this is concerning personal communication and messaging on the cell phone. He says this affair has entangled many men and women under the pretext of da'wah. He said this justification is invalid and distorted. He said, and it's not hidden from any male Muslim or female, any Muslim man or woman whose heart is filled with the khashiyah and the taqwa of Allah Ta'ala, that being along with the opposite sex is what? Is haram. He said, so it's not permissible to be alone with the opposite sex that you're not a mahram for. He said, but it's even more dangerous to be alone with them on social media. He said, because if you're sitting alone with him in a car, maybe someone will come by. If you're in a house, maybe somebody will open the door, but you're on internet, you're all alone. He said, and the only one that sees you is the Lord of mankind and the angels writing down your good deeds. He said, so being on social media is even more dangerous. Now, number two. So the first was what? Misrepresenting themselves. Brothers, if you don't work Just tell the sister that you don't. Let her make the decision. Just be honest. If she asks, do you work? Say, no, I don't work. You have your own place? No, I live with my mother. You pray? Sometimes. Be honest. And let her make the decision. If she still wants to marry you, mashallah. But don't misrepresent yourself, all right?